And Stephano has just done battle with one of the best Protoss on the planet, a Code S round of 8. You can see the emotion from Hero. This is a guy who wears his heart on his sleeve. He cares. He works so hard. I mean, we heard Frodan talk about it, but look no further than DreamHack Winter, where he won, and he's just overwhelmed. He fell apart.
Yeah. Well, we saw that last game. He was caught off guard so badly early on. It looked absolutely impossible. He fought his way back. He established a third base. We actually thought he was ahead for some time. I thought he definitely could have won that game. And then lose like that is heartbreaking.
I mean, amazing harass. The Warp Prism doing what it could at the 4th, and the Zealot warp in on that main base. I thought that was really good, but unfortunately, Stephano just kind of secured too much of advantage, to your point. And I think once you get Broodlords out, this map becomes a good map for Zerg. It's really hard to blink under them and start picking apart Broodlords. So we're actually going to go to an interview, if I'm not mistaken.
First, I think Zoe and Day9 are going to discuss the game. And then
Zoe and Sean, they're going to give a breakdown of this series and what they thought. Zoe and Sean.
Hello and welcome back to the backstage player area, where we are really impressed with Stephano's play.
We are indeed, and pretty much heard everyone in here is feeling the same. Stephano, like...
I mean, he just got more and more impressive as the series went on. I mean, I think game number 3 was really a huge turning point. Does sound like Stephano just stepped out of his booth on the main stage as we hear that roar from the crowd. But I mean, game 3, such a turning point. It was a pretty standard tie at 1-1, and then game 3, that critical misplay with the huge push with the Stalkers and the Void Rays. And Stephano, even though he crushed it, he still was only on 2 base, but just carefully, methodically stepped his way forward and just didn't make a single mistake after that point.
Yeah, like Stephano's play has been so like stable, or I don't actually know which word to use for that, but it's just been like really crisp, really clear. He was on his timings. And Stephano, I mean, in general, he's known to be a very like stable player. It's really hard to catch him off guard because he, for some odd reason, he has such a good read on his opponents.
Yes.
And I mean, that's basically what we just saw. Even though Hero is like, he's an innovative player, like innovative? Is that the right word? I don't know, my English is not that good. However, like even those Warp Prism drops, they couldn't actually catch Stephano off guard, and I was really amazed by that.
That's a surprisingly hard situation to be in. The situation we saw Stephano in that game number 4, where Hero had amazingly managed to hold off all the waves of attack, had a lead in food, and suddenly we see that there's no Infestor tech started, no Hive, just Roach Link. I mean, the 4th base in the bottom right didn't even have any drones at it. So what do you do in Stephano's position? I mean, you want Broodlords, but those are at the very earliest 4 minutes away, and he was still able to hold it off just right.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy. I mean, even though I normally kind of tend to root for Liquid players because I really like them, I'm really happy for Stephano. That was so deserved, and I can't wait to see more games of him.
And last time we saw Stephano and MC meet in a major tournament was in the semifinals. MC managed to barely defeat Stephano 3-2, and now we get the chance to see a best-of-7 rematch between these two powerhouse players.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty darn amazing. I'm really, really looking forward for that. And I mean, the day is still not over. We still have quite some games to come. So is there actually, like, totally unbiased question, is there anyone you would consider as the favorite?
At this point in time, I got to be honest, MC always impresses me at every tournament. MC got to 2nd place in Season 1. I think that MC is probably going to be able to go all the way for this tournament.
I think, like, MC is...
Right?
Right, yeah.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
I think with like MC versus Stephano, MC is actually one of the only Protoss players who kind of constantly beat Stephano. And like other Protoss players have like a huge problem with that because Stephano has a notoriously good PVC. His win ratio is actually like on 70% international statistics. And that's just like a lot. So he does not lose a lot against Protoss players.
Yeah, I mean for anyone who doesn't look at stats that often, I think that there are only 10 or so over 70%.
Yeah, it's really rare. Like
period.
Yeah, and Stephano is one of them, and that's actually pretty impressive. And I mean, beating a name like Hero already like speaks for itself.
PvZ specialist.
Yeah, like Hero was pegged as one of the favorites, I would say. I mean, for some reason, like everyone here, we are talking about the top 8. So yeah, we will see what's going to happen.
So we're going to throw it back to the desk, and when we come back, we're going to have an interview with our winner, Stephano.
Well,
that was just absolutely amazing last game by Hero, by Stephano and by Hero, just holding on, making it as close as it was. And then after this, getting to see MC versus Stephano. They've had such history in tournaments. MC usually getting the upper hand, but Stephano's been doing much better recently, actually beating him at MLG Arena, forcing it to the 5th game at the Red Bull LAN. It'd be great to see that matchup again and see the rest of this rivalry.
Very, very, very excited. Now, of course, we're going to go to that interview, actually, with Stephano. This is going to be a good one. Over to Stephano, and I believe day 9.
If they're ready for it.
They're not ready yet.
They're not ready for it yet, so we get to talk a bit more.
Let's give some love to our sponsors. Interceptor Group, Cyberactive Esports Canada. Yeah. I appreciate the woos out there. Epson, ISO, Kingston HyperX, GameMinder, and iBuyPower. I, of course, am Jeff and Control Robinson. This is Greg Fields from Team Evil Geniuses. And now we're ready for the interview. Over to Sean and Stephano with the interview.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Stephano! So, of course, I want to ask, coming into this event, we saw, I mean, even yesterday and all today, I saw you practicing hardcore on the computer. I mean, how long have you been playing in the days leading up to NASL?
Well, that's not true, because I haven't been practicing for at least 2 weeks now. And all I did the last 2 days was like 10 games maybe on 2 days, so I didn't practice hardly.
You're my favorite to interview. Love interviewing you so much. So I wanna start with game 1, where the Void Ray Phoenix play came right out the gate, and I've seen in a number of tournaments when your opponents go air, you just seem to snap it off right away. I mean, is that still causing easy wins for you in events, or snap off means to kill? Okay, live translation.
What's the question? Repeat?
Yeah, so, I mean, when you saw the Void Ray play happen in the first 2 games, 1 win, 1 loss, I mean, was there any discomfort heading into game 3?
Well, usually when the Protoss goes on air, I'm not scared at all, because I know he has no ground units, so I can deny his third for a long period of time. And seeing he did it 3 games in a row, I think, made me really happy, because I know I'm really good against this style, and it's Hero's best style, I think.
Yeah.
He always opened this way, so I was lucky on that.
I mean, did you specifically prepare against Hero style, or was it just more of a general ZVP you were training?
Well, as I said, I couldn't practice the past 2 weeks, so I maybe thought a bit about how I would play, but I didn't really find a practicing partner and played with him. But
so I want to step into game 3, where we saw like your natural expansion finish right as 3 cannons arrived. Were you feeling uncomfortably behind? Because I saw you immediately build the hatch in your main and completely skip roaches. What was going through your head when your 3rd went down?
Well, when he does that, he has a very delayed warp gate usually, and he can't really take. So what he will be doing is either take a 3rd and try to get an advantage with economy, or he will try to push, and that's what he did. So I didn't really need to make lots of units, just spines and infestors, high-tech units, and it wins easily, especially with 1-1 links. So I think it was a bad decision from him, not a good from me, because it's a bit stupid to attack a 2-base Zerg when you are 2-base Protoss. I think you should just stay back.
Now, of course, game 4 had so many crazy twists and turns in it. Can you just take us through that game? I mean, obviously the Roachling aggression started to get an edge at the start, but it seemed to start slipping away as we got to 12, 13 minutes.
Well, it was that long because I didn't make really enough drones, and I didn't make the macro hatch because I wanted to deny his 3rd before he puts it. So I had to put make speed link before there, so I had roach speed later. But I managed to deny his 3rd for 3 minutes or 4 minutes. But I didn't really have enough larvas to kill his army, and that was the problem. I didn't have the good drone amount and a hatch amount, so that's it.
So was it feeling really close? Like, were you really worried about losing, especially when the warp prisms were hitting both the top and the southern base?
Well, I was really worried because on the game 2, he won with his Colossi push, and he was doing exactly the same thing, but in a harder way to defend, because he was attacking 3 spots same time. But he was a bit scared to attack. I don't know why, because on Chakras you have even better position for force fields. Next to the Xenlaga, so I don't know why he was that scary to attack. He should have gone way before I get the Corruptors and the Boot Roads. He gave me time to make my units.
Well, now this means that you've advanced to the semifinals. You'll be going up against SKMC, who recently defeated you at the Red Bull Battleground. So are you feeling confident against him? Do you think that you have what it takes to beat him in that 7-game series?
Well, beating Hero makes me really confident because I wasn't really thinking about winning this first match against him. So everything can happen against MC. I do my best, but don't expect a lot from me.
Well, either way, I'm a huge fan. I know everyone here is a huge fan. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you play in the semifinal tonight.
Thank you.
See you back at the desk.
Thank you, Sean. Stephano always giving good interviews, one way or another.
Entertaining. Always entertaining.
Always entertaining. Now we do have our next match. It's going to be Puzzle versus Rhett. Slayers against Team Liquid. Really excited for this. Puzzle is your #1 seed from the NASL. He's, I think, the ace, you could say, of Team Slayers. He's come out in the GSTL matches in that position. Of course, so is Coca. You can make an argument for that as well. But he has just performed so well this season.
He is, and he's one of the most versatile Protosses out there. He's just incredibly scary. He's really stepped up into that role. It was always MMA. MMA was their go-to. But him and Coca really stepping it up. But then Rhett, of course, doesn't get nearly enough credit. Anytime he goes to an offline event, he's an absolute threat for top 4 no matter who's there.
I mean, just the fact that he's here right now with how hard it is to qualify for the top 8 of NASL is an accomplishment in and of itself. But, of course, you don't want to come here, lose a best-of-5, and go home empty-handed. That would be a rough trip.
No, as we said before, this match is the difference between $5,000 and $0. So losing that first match is absolutely heartbreaking. We saw it on Hero's face after he lost that match with Stephano. It's just so incredibly disappointing to come all the way over and lose your first match after such a long season. That's what a lot of people forget. This is the culmination of weeks and weeks and weeks of play. This isn't coming and going 0-1. This is coming and
Okay. So before we go too much further, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to run a commercial real quick. We'll be right back, and we'll get into our puzzle. That's a weird way to say that.
Yes, it was.